manifest some extra money with your 12-year-old, and this is going to convey, oh, that's so much better. This is going to convey the importance of connecting with your inner children, because they can really be beneficial with your imagination, and your imagination is what brings your manifestations into reality. So if you get your inner children involved with the process, it can be a lot more fun and whimsical, because they're going to just be more in a childlike state of wonderment. And then today you'll be connecting with the 12-year-old version of you. So you're going to want to save this video so you can come back to it in the future as well. This is going to be an activation in your Akashic records. When I went into your energy field, I said, hello, 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 greeting to welcome them in. And I said, where do you want to go today? What do you want to show me? 12-year-old and I were standing in front of this giant beanstalk, like Jack and the Beanstalk, and it was going really high up into the sky. And they said, we're going to climb this to get to where we're going today. I said, all right. How are we going to get up it? What is the best way? Obviously, we could, climb it like a ladder. I was like, this is going to be a lot. And your 12-year-old said, oh yeah, and walked over and put their hand on the beanstalk, and a staircase popped out of it that was spiraling all the way around, and it was made out of opal crystal. The healing properties of opal, which you needed obviously, it helps with balancing emotions and encouraging positive outlooks on life. Vision the stair rails that were circling the beanstalk were made out of these crystals. As we were walking, I said, what is that smell? It's so fragrant, beautiful. And your 12-year-old said they are petunias that grow at the top of the beanstalk where we were headed. Petunias, with their vibrant colors and calming presence, are believed to help reduce stress and anxiety. Simply being around them can create a more peaceful and relaxing environment. And I'm reading from my notes here to keep me on track. Once we got up to the plateau, they looked at me and said, you're going to need this, and handed me a shovel. And I said, what for? And they said, we're off to see the wizard, and slung this shovel over their arm, like you see people do, like carrying it like it's kind of like the dwarves in Snow White. They were going into the mines. And they said, we're off to see the wizard. And I said, oh, the wonderful Wizard of Oz? And they said, no. I said, okay. I said, we're going to go see the Emerald Wizard. And I said, isn't that the same thing? And I actually Googled it. And Google said, it's probably in reference to the Wizard of Oz. Your 12-year-old said, different wizard. Just keep walking. So, okay, I'm following you. Then I noticed a large field of posies. I said, I think that's from the Wizard of Oz. Where Dorothy walked through and fell asleep. And they said, don't worry about that. And then we keep on walking. And then we end up at a field of corn, with like corn stalks. And we start walking in. I said, wait a minute. Isn't this a scene from the Wizard of Oz? Where the scarecrow is standing in front of the corn and, to shoo off all the birds. And your 12-year-old said, how many scarecrows live in cornfields? A lot. Just because we're seeing this does not mean it's a Wizard of Oz. All right. I will not bring it up again. We continue walking, and then we end up in a forest. And at this time, it's dark. Night had fallen. Your 12-year-old said, do you see those lightning bugs? And they were kind of everywhere, but they were pooling in these certain areas. And they said, you want to dig up one of the spots that they're collecting around. So vision that there's 10 or 12 lightning bugs circling this one spot. I said, I feel like I'm in the movie Holes, because we're digging and digging and digging and digging. And I hit something and said, oh, I struck something. And we got down and we were trying to dig it out with our hands. All the dirt out of the way, it was still stuck in there. And this is when a helium tank appeared and a bag full of balloons. Your 12-year-old was blowing them up and then handing them to me so I could attach it to the box that was in the ground. And the song 99 Red Balloons started playing. 99 red balloons go by. Eventually it popped out of the ground after we put enough balloons on it, holding the box. And it's kind of like a chest, like a small one that you would keep jewelry or things in. There was a lock on it, the kind that you pull down and it clasps. There was dirt all on it, obviously, because we pulled it out of the ground. I said, this is looking dusty, crusty. I'm trying to get it all cleaned up. When I opened it, there was nothing inside. I said, all right. Your 12-year-old said, why don't you reach your hand in there and see what you can find? I reached my hand in there, and like a magician's hat, where it just keeps going and going and going, it was all the way up to my chest now in the box. I closed my eyes to try and feel what was in there, almost like a surprise. I felt water running through my hand. After a second, I said, oh, it's a stream down there. Then all of a sudden, your 12-year-old and I are actually standing in the stream. So we had moved down into a different dimensional space. I asked, what are we doing here? Looking around. All I can see is water. They said, shh, and pointed for me to look. There was a massive frog. If you've seen the anime Naruto, much like these. Massive, massive frogs. The one that we were looking at was green. Naruto also has a coin bag that he carries around. So this frog had his mouth open like this and was saying bleh, like a frog does, bleh, and every time it opened its mouth there was gold coins that were falling out of it. Your 12-year-old said, why don't you go pick one of them up? I walked over, got one in my hand. There was a frog emblem on it. 12-year-old said, each coin is worth $1,000, $1,000 gold coin, and you have 10 slots in your inventory. Your inventory is the box that we found in the ground. So when I opened it up, there was 10 circle slots for us to place $10,000 coins in. When I flipped a coin over, instead of it saying "in God we trust," it said "in Bog we trust." I thought that was hilarious. Your 12-year-old said, these are to take back with you on your journey. I said, oh my gosh, this was so fun. The coins are for you. Okay, for me and for you. And this is pulling from your etheric bank account into your physical bank account. These are representors and magnetizing that into our field. So what about the Emerald Wizard? Because that never got brought up again. Oh, the frog is the wizard. The emerald green wizard. It is creating gold coins. A couple synchronicities that might have come up for you during this journey. The beanstalk, the opal staircase, the petunias, 99 red balloons, that song, and the emerald wizard, the frog. Our inner children need different tools and techniques than we do as an adult. This is serving as an anchor in your consciousness. If they are feeling any type of anxieties around money, this is going to help empower them. Remember, we have those 10 gold coins in our inventory. You can keep coming back to that imagery. It was really fun to see how your 12-year-old was interpreting wealth, prosperity, and abundance. I would love to hear in the comments if this helped shift your perspectives, what your biggest takeaways were, if any of the synchronicities really stuck out. If you do want to learn how to connect with your inner children via your imagination to enhance your manifestation skills, you can join the Wizards Academy. Those are classes that I'm teaching within it. If you want to develop your channeling and psychic abilities and learn the art of symbol interpretation like the one that we went on here, I have a psychic development workshop coming up as well. And you can find both of those in my bio or the comments. And I'm wishing you an absolutely magical day.